Well, anyway, as I was saying, I look at the wording poverty rate and ability to pay as being they're a catch together as far as I'm concerned. I was at the town hall just before Christmas dropping off some canned goods for the holidays and so forth. And I had the chance to talk to the welfare agent, and she said in the last several years the amount of people using the free food and that ability is skyrocketed in Newton. She didn't give me a number or anything, I didn't ask, but I had a nice conversation with her. She said, yes, she said, without people like you or other people in the town, there's some other organizations that contribute, some of these people wouldn't have a meal every day. So I kind of like the word poverty and ability to pay, because I think they're one and the same.
I know Jim Doggett has brought it up several times, speaking from his standpoint of knowledge as a selectman.
Yeah.
In Newton.
Well, one other thing. I put a warrant article in for the town of Newton this year. They have what they call a voucher that people get every other year, and that's to drop off free stuff, bulk items like TVs, mattresses, and so forth, okay? And the number one, and it used to be every year. I used to give it out, and the selectmen, for some reason, thought it would be too costly or whatever to the town. So I did an analysis. At the transfer station, we take all the cards and we put them in a folder. And so I went down and grabbed them one Sunday a few weeks ago, and I added up those total that we used. And we issued 1,600. 474 were actually used, or 29.9%. That was my presentation at the deliberative session last week the other day at the town, Saturday. And because they were all concerned, I said, and the people that use it, and I look at these people when they come in, and you're not trying to say that they're this or what, but it's really a great benefit for the town, whether they drop a TV off for $5 or $10 or whatever. And I think it'll be great, and that's why I put the warrant article in, because the selectmen weren't happy because they wanted it every other year. They think it's going to just overburden the transfer station, but I disagree, and that's one of the reasons I did it, because these people complaining. But again, getting back to the two words, I think they're tied together. And poverty it gives you a problem with ability to pay.
Anyone else? You want to make a motion, Cheryl, or we just want to see if they take a vote, see if we want to leave it or remove it?
Sure, we can take a vote. I wouldn't be opposed to changing poverty to a different word. I think ability to pay is sufficient. I'm not sure why poverty rates was added after the public hearing. Why it was deemed necessary to add that poverty rates. Again, if you want to put a rate in there, if somebody can find that out, what the rates are, I think that would be fine.
All right, well, let's just take a vote. Let's say, who wants to vote to leave it as is?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, okay?
I'm outvoted. That's what this democracy is about.
Yep. Next, do you have something else?
Where am I? Number 12. The years have been altered from the public hearing. So in the public hearing presentation, it wasn't 1992 to 93, 2002 to 03, 2012, 13, and 2018 is not an actual, so I don't think it's appropriate to be comparing actuals to projected, things that we don't know.
You see the E there?
Yep, but I don't think it should be on this chart if it's estimated. In the previous one, it was the actual from 2016-17, which I think would be appropriate because then you're comparing actuals to actuals.
So you're talking about that blue column on the far
Yep, the last one.
right under student enrollment?
Yep. And one of my concerns about this is because this is going to go online. Am I correct? The presentation will be going online?
Yeah,
So people who are not able to go to the deliberative can go ahead and see the information. So I think we need to be abundantly clear in kind of what Charlton has been saying, don't use acronyms, don't use abbreviations that might not be correctly interpreted. So I don't know that everybody would understand that that means estimate and where that estimate came from. There's no source annual reports, but since it hasn't happened, that's not in the annual report.
okay, so would you be comfortable, yeah, Mary?
I'm sorry, did you, for the purpose of the minutes, did you say that in the public hearing, it was the 26, 2017 or the 27, 2018 data that was there?
The current year that we're in, I believe. This is
2018?
17, 18. I don't know, I couldn't find the public hearing presentation on the drive. I looked for it. I had my own copy that I had downloaded to make notes when it first came out, but I don't know if that was what was actually put up, but.
So these are every 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah. So every,
Yeah.
would it be difficult
Until-
to add estimate?
and put EST instead of just E?
Spell it out.
Oh, estimate? Yeah. No,
If we have the actual, why don't we put the actual so it goes with the other four?
Well, the point here is that the administration has put forward a plan to reduce some of the staffing for the first time in many years in response to the enrollment decline. So this should be something that the taxpayers might appreciate.
And
so
where
that's
does
the
it-
point here, is to show what the budget is showing.
Where does it say that?
It says it when we go further down, when we talk about it. It doesn't say it on this slide.
No, it doesn't say here that 2018-19 estimate is the result of an administration wanting to decrease
No,
What?
it doesn't.
student enrollment. The administration can't decrease student enrollment. The administration can't decrease, well, I guess they
I'm
could.
sorry,
decrease
I don't even get
administration.
your segue there. Yeah.
Is the student enrollment number that you used the number that that Mr. Ambrose used?
Yeah, 1598 next year.
Well, if it's the number that came from the administration, then it didn't come out of the clear blue sky. You can say estimate, but it's the number that the budget is based on, right?
Yeah.
That, I don't see a problem. I don't understand the problem there.
If you'd feel more comfortable, I can add to it, source SRSD annual reports, fiscal year 2018-19 budget. I mean, it says that it's from the budget. That's where the source is. I'm sorry, it's there. That's the source.
I still don't think you should be comparing actuals with estimates. Why did we at the public hearing put the actual, and now, between then and now, we put the estimate? What was the reason for changing that?
Updating, being more current.
Well, that we had that projection at the public hearing, didn't we?
Hey, I gained something. I did something. I made these prettier today. I mean.
No, you changed things. You changed
We're
things. You
having a
didn't make
meeting
it
to discuss
prettier.
that, Cheryl.
Oh, I am here to discuss the fact that the chairperson of this committee went and made changes to this presentation without coming before the committee and asking, like we did tonight, take a vote. I think that's totally inappropriate because this is a committee, and the committee should have input. And when things are sent to us in email, and it's just, okay, here it is, and we have no opportunity to discuss it, that's why I requested this meeting. This is a committee of multiple people. I never, as a committee member, said, I grant the chairperson of this committee to change the presentation as she sees fit. I don't ever remember taking a vote. I don't remember that ever being presented. So I am coming here and asking why you changed data on this presentation. What happened at that public hearing that made this be changed?
Do you want to explain yourself, or
It's more current data. It's just the most
brings it
updated
up to
data.
date?
We didn't have this at the public hearing?
I didn't put it in for the public hearing.
Okay, so we had the data. You just took it upon yourself that you were going to put other data in here now between the public
Cheryl, I
hearing
did
and the
my best to
deliberative.
share, to prepare a presentation, really. You know, can't
Yes.
get past this fact. I'm sorry.
What would be the difference if we had 17 or 18 up there?
Because it's
I understand
actuals.
your point about the rest of it, but what would show
Actuals,
up?
we're comparing actuals of 92, 93, actuals of 2002 to 2003, and we're saying staffing history. Next year is not history. If you want to change the label and say what the purpose of this slide is, here again, I don't know what the purpose of this slide is except for showing history. You're saying I need to go 4 slides ahead to figure out what this slide means. Maybe you'll explain that at the deliberative, but it's incumbent upon us as a committee to have information so that the voters can look at this information and make decisions for themselves. So if things are confusing or misleading, I don't think that that's proper. That if what you're saying is going to be clear, it needs to be written in here so that when people read this slide, they understand what the purpose is.
Oh, I don't find it confusing or misleading,
It's an
we
estimate.
deal with estimates all the time here, too much to my chagrin, constantly. So if your philosophy is then from now on, anybody comes in here, I don't want any estimate for next year, I want the actual.
No, we're
Well,
making.
come on, that's what you're saying.
We can discuss.
Constantly deal with estimates.
This is not discussion. This is a static slide with no discussion. When somebody pulls this up, a voter who was not able to go to the deliberative, there's no discussion back and forth.
Well, what's the difference between that and the athletic department comes in and says, we estimate we're gonna need $200,000 next year? I mean, we don't
What
get
is-
a Bible of information
What
that
is
we
the
need
purpose
4 new
of that?
soccer balls.
What is the
and
purpose of this slide?
to show
title
enrollment and
says-
staffing history.
History. So next year is not history.
It's
Wow.
showing history and it's showing an adjustment next year based on the history.
And the purpose is? Why are we
Purpose
showing?
is to show the voters what's going on, to be transparent to the voters on what's going on.
Then I would say put the actuals there instead of an estimate. If you compare, you've got four segments of actuals and then an
Saying
estimate.
the same thing over.
I know, I mean, there's some redundancy here, but
May I ask, and forgive me for not looking ahead when we talk about projections, we have another slide that talks about forecasts, right? Do we not?
Yeah, this one, right here, this one?
Yeah, it shows the student enrollment going down. Does it also show a forecast for staffing?
is that the next one we're gonna talk about?
Well, the staffing is right there.
Is that the only one for staffing? The one labeled history, or do you have one that's?
No, that's the only one for staffing.
I was gonna say, because we could do it that way and leave the actuals on one and the forecasts on another. But you don't have one that has estimates or forecasts other than student enrollment or projected student enrollment.
This is just
I
a
don't have
full
that.
disclosure to the voters, all it is. That's all it is.
No,
Jack.
I would put on the student enrollment ones
sorry.
too,
Got
projections
my
as
back, you
well,
have to yell.
to make it clear what these,
Should we just remove the word history?
You just
Is
put
that
estimate
the-
next to
is
it, I
that
think
the-
that'll clarify everything.
Sort of,
Okay,
I mean, enrollment and staffing trends,
okay,
and I would say, put that E, make it estimate or projection.
Okay,
we're gonna
that's
call it
fine.
Those came from
trends
the
and
administration.
Spell out estimates. Is that
Okay.
okay with everybody?
I'm happy
I was
with it.
kind of confused about the E, so that's a good,
Okay, good.
that's a good
So I'm sorry, I'm
recommendation.
writing this down, trying to be thorough.
We're going to say enrollment and staffing trends,
Trends.
and we're going to spell out the word estimate for
Are we gonna
2018-19.
take a vote on it, or are we in consensus?
Everybody's agreed.
I think we're in consensus.
Everybody's
Yes.
agreed. All right,
Cheryl, do you feel okay with that?
Yep.
okay. Next one.
What's your next one?
You have another one?
Well, actually, yes, let's go back to the student enrollment, kind of the same thing. So 2019,
I'm sorry, what slide is that?
Oh.
Number?
11. So where those 19, 20, and 21, I would just put a note there, projections.
You don't think the voters know that?
Yeah.
I mean, really, and I think the voters are smart enough to know that we're not in 2018, 19, or, 19, 20, or 21. And really, that's just
Yeah, I do have
nitpicking.
to, I have to agree with that one. I mean, it says 2021, it's got to be a projection unless,
This has been in there
unless
for
we got some
years.
time travel.
This has been in there from years, from Blake, it's been in there.
Yeah, that's,
And I think it does say projections.
Is there a piece of the label missing on that projection slide? That last
This one?
last bar is orange, but the last label I see for 2021 is blue or whatever that. That looks like it's for the
I don't know.
preceding
one,
bar
two,
there.
4, 5, 6, I lost count.
Yeah, there's no light blue for 2021.
Okay, let's, I'll take a look at that. Good, thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
Good catch.
Yeah.
So aside from there missing a graphic to depict the light blue
Yeah, we'll
2021,
either include,
were there any recommended changes to this, Cheryl? This slide?
we can just take
No,
out.
I would still like to have projections there, but it doesn't seem like other people agree with that.
What's your next one?
What's next?
The study of property tax rates. 16? Community ability to pay on the right side. Kingston MR in state.
Oh, you know what? This isn't the latest version here. It's, hang on a second. Let me see what's going on.
So we are on slide 16.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Hang on, I'm terribly sorry. You pull it up in my computer.
What was MR, mill rate?
Yeah, mill rate.
Oh, no, thank you.
I prettied it up a little bit, but
Oh, that had 2022 on it, that last one.
Yeah, that enrollment trend slide had that final.
yeah, I mean, I think when it goes over to the Google Drive, it drops some stuff. It also puts things kind of in different places. It isn't an exact thing. So
can
this is the actual PowerPoint presentation that's on
Can
my
I
thing.
scratch slide 11 from our
Yep.
minutes?
Yes.
Because we see it here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So where is this one?
What?
Where, how can we access this one?
Well, this one I did the best I could to. I can email it to you, but it's it's basically on Google Drive, but the Google Drive doesn't do an exact duplication of a.
Well, I would like, as a committee member, to see the presentation that's going to be presented.
It's right here.
So can I get that? Can you email that to
I
us?
can. Yep.
Okay.
And once we agree that we're going to make changes and they are changed, and we all have a look-see, are you going to post it on the website before the meeting?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. We haven't done that in the past. We want people to come to the deliberative.
Right.
Is there, can you, Mary, I'm sorry, while I've got it open, what are the things that we said that we were going to change that Oh, it was the estimate. I'm sorry, I'm really fuzzy. Yeah, I know.
I'm going by slides. So slide 12.
Okay, 9, we were okay with. Okay. 12, estimate.
It said the years have been altered from the public hearing. And Cheryl felt the 2018-2019 time period was not there before. It was 2018, and that's with an asterisk because we think that's what it was. She feels the estimates should all agree on, I can't even remember my own writing. Feels committee should all agree on changes.
Here we go.
Which I agree with. I think that's great.
And she recommends enrollment and staffing trends at the top,
Yep.
which you've done.
We agreed on that.
Spell out estimate.
We agreed on that. Yep.
Okay. I'll put
On
the
the second,
Yeah,
where it says 2012-3-3 on this, in the.
yeah,
right-hand side there
13,
now.
right?
Yeah, that might be clearer.
I don't know why I'm having trouble with that. I'll get it. Okay. You make a note of that so that I can,
Which, that's
See,
slide,
that
2012,
slide's
this
gotta be
is slide
2013, yeah.
slide 12.
Slide 12.
and that's on the staffing?
Yeah, that's, yeah,
Enrollment and staffing trends.
yeah. And then 13, we skipped. 14, we skipped.
16.
And so we're on 16, the property tax rates. Okay. So I changed that a little bit to simplify it because I thought it was overly complicated. And I went back through the numbers and, did a spreadsheet of kind of sorting it and counting and stuff. And there are actually 25 communities that pay more than Kingston, and there are 11 that pay more than Newton in the state of New Hampshire out of 259 communities for school tax rates.
Okay.
So it's something we've talked about, but we've never really kind of put the hard numbers on it, and I think the hard numbers are important.
So what does that have to do with community ability to pay?
Has to do that our tax rates are really, really high compared to the rest of the state. We're paying a lot for the schools.
That's what we pay, that's not addressing our ability to pay. So I would say communities
you like to
pay. Communities pay. Kingston, 90th percentile in local school, 90th percentile in the state.
I'd like to
that what you
say
mean?
burden to each community, but that's probably not going to happen.
Well, but what you're doing is this is comparing Kingston to the state, correct? Am I interpreting that correctly? Kingston is in the 90th percentile in the state,
Right,
and Newton is the 96th percentile in the state.
yes.
So that heading should be comparison to state.
Okay,
No, don't change it yet.
okay, but that would be here that you would want to change that?
Yeah, because that's what the data is talking about.
You can
Now,
say
if
all
you-
kinds of things. I'd like to see it say community's tax burden. How about that? What do you think? Would you like that?
Well,
That's what it is.
if you had data that was about the tax burden,
It's right there.
that would be fine.
Right there.
No.
This is all about the
This
tax
data is a comparison of
No.
what Kingston pays in local taxes to the state.
This is your tax burden. This is what the citizens have to pay.
Compared to other people
Pay
in
to
the
other
state?
people. I mean, this is amazing. Newton pays, is it the 96% percentile is
Well,
what?
can you edit that to say community ability to pay compared to state averages or
But there's
other
nothing
communities?
that says, just, if we were Bedford, okay, and we had a lot of affluent people, and we were in the 90th percentile, would that be the same community ability to pay? Would it be,
Sure.
There it is.
I don't
We're
care
still
whether you
paying
got $14 million in the bank or 1,400.
but what does
Bedford actually
ability?
pays less than us.
What does ability to pay mean? To me, my ability to pay is what I make in income.
Okay, so instead of
But I
parsing
feel I
this,
can-
why don't we come up with a solution?
Yeah, let's, Leah.
Well,
come
I
up with-
think that the heading should be what the data is. comparison to state.
Or mill rate comparison to state?
Yeah, I would like MR to be mill rate. And then isn't the local school on the left side there, is that
A lot
per
of people don't understand what
thousand?
mill rate means.
What?
Right. I don't really understand what mill rate means, but so we're not, I won't agree to that, but.
What are you saying?
Kingston, 17.54. $17, is that per thousand?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what a mill rate is.
That, I think that should be put in there. Per thousand.
That by definition.
Let's slow
is
down, whoa, let's
what a
do
mill
one
rate is.
at,
Yeah, okay.
one at a time. We're gonna do one at a time. First of all,
Where is,
first of all, we're gonna decide what it says up top. I don't like this. You don't like ability. What do you want to put up there, Jack? I'm gonna treat this sort of like a work session instead of some formal meetings. What do you want up there?
I have no problem with ability to pay. That's exactly what it is.
Mary?
It's a comparison of the dollars, but the tax rates are right there. You know?
Come back to me, please.
Come back.
I want to think about it.
Think about it, Tammy. Put you on the
Well,
spot.
from a pure semantics point of view, I have to agree with Cheryl, actually. The data, the raw data that we're showing really is strictly how we compare to other
Stack
communities in the state.
Okay. What do you want to say?
Well,
I feel like we're writing the Declaration of Independence here.
I know.
we want to make sure that people who see this understand what the data is, Charlton. That's where I'm coming from.
Overstate that,
Pe-
but
we,
whatever.
we know what we're talking about because we're on this committee and we spend a lot of time
Then it
doing
should say tax burden, because that's what people understand, the tax burden.
It certainly is powerful information.
Because it certainly isn't a benefit.
We.
But Jack,
No one's going to understand what mill rate comparison to state means.
nope.
Well, could we say tax rate compared to state? For
I go with tax
stack
rate
ranking
comparisons.
of
Tax rate comparisons is fine with me.
So then, on the other side, it should also be
Statewide
tax
takes
rate.
Tax rate.
You have tax rate at the top, suggestion from the dean.
No, that's true, it does say up top. So you, everybody want to take out mill rate and put tax rate?
I just do that.
That's
Yeah.
Comparison
Yeah.
to state, and take out tax rate on that.
Sure.
fine.
We could say statewide tax rate comparison as a label on the other one there.
And I think it should be per thousand. Make it clear, 1754 per thousand. Or you could just put in local school tax rate, per thousand in your heading.
Add that.
And then
Is
you
that
don't have
hard
to put
add
it
in?
on each number, each
We add per
amount.
thousand? Can we add per thousand?
Yeah, right there, underneath. Oops. Or put $1,000, put $100.
Why don't we put per $1,000 of property value? I mean, really, I mean, this is just getting ridiculous.
No,
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
trying to save you some space, Annie.
Yeah, okay.
Can I make one more suggestion?
Sure.
Sure.
It's not total state rate, it's total rate including state.
What?
If you're gonna put state in there, it's not the total state rate. The state doesn't have a rate.
No,
It's the total rate.
comparison statewide.
And if you wouldn't want to get, that specific, it's total rate including state and county.
I think you said that, Tammy, right? Or did Mary?
I was talking about
Jack.
the label that you're working on
I think if
now.
I was
would
in
say
the audience, I'd say, God, Newton's tax rate's really going down. My first, you would look at the 1954, say, boy, that's beautiful.
So
No,
what does
that's-
total
this is the-
state rate
This
mean?
is the school.
What is that 2578? What does that mean compared to
what we pay to the
1754?
state,
That's the total tax rate.
Total tax
including
rate,
local and,
total local
Oh, okay,
Total
so that's
local-
totally different.
Yep,
tax rate.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next. Next slide.
So because you're making the changes, I don't need to write them down.
I would just write that-
We agreed on header changes.
Right, yeah.
Whatever slide.
Yeah, I think so.
Committee agreed to changes on whatever slide we're on. I've lost track now.
That's slide 16 still, right, that we were on?
Yep. Does anybody have anything else?
No. Not on 16, anybody?
Running through the others, just so you can see the version that, as it appears on, when it'll come up.
This one's up.
What are we on now? 20?
Number 20?
Yeah. What does this mean? Half student assistance counselor funded by state grant.
What do you think it means?
Well, it says another huge need. So what does the grant have to do with the need? It almost looks as though, where is the need here you're identifying? You're saying that a grant was given for half the cost of a counselor, and I don't know what post-rehab support insurance funded means. I have no idea what that means. I don't remember talking about post-rehab support. Does anybody else know what that means? And what that has to do with our budget, and the budget presentation of the
It'll be
budget
insurance funded
numbers?
as opposed to adding additional staffing?
What is post-rehab support? What is that?
Well, you're very blessed that you don't have to know about that kind of thing. Post-rehab support is...
I would really appreciate, Annie, if, I ask these questions because I don't understand
No, I
what this
got it.
means.
I got it.
So to say something like that, to me, is very disrespectful. All
right, guys,
That I'm
settle down.
blessed that I don't have to know that. Can you just please answer the question?
Sure.
That would be
Post-rehab support
appreciated.
is support for people who come out of rehab to help them not to have a high recidivism rate.
And what does that have to do with our budget and our students, is what I don't understand the
Something which is going to be
connection.
insurance funded, it's available, we've identified it, and I actually brought it to the superintendent. And so we have the student assistance counselor as a social worker, and we also have a LADAC. We talked a lot about having a LADAC in the system. What we've got is we've got a LADAC support that's available that's funded by insurance. So it doesn't come from the taxpayers.
So the student assistance counselor, let's use one label. We're talking about a position here at the high school, a student assistance counselor. Half of their salary is funded by a state grant, and where's the other half?
Out of the budget.
Can we put that there? Because post-rehab support, it just doesn't connect to anything for me in this heading, another huge need. Basically what we
Is drug and
say,
alcohol counseling.
but we know,
My turn. I think we ought to just take the whole slide, that one, right out. Because now,
Fine with me.
this is such a slippery slope. And
It's out.
I have to,
It's gone.
can we vote? Let's
Oh.
finish hearing what Charlton has to say. Charlton,
I
I'm
just want
sorry.
it out. Because it's just confusing.
Is confusing?
As
All
far as I'm
right, can we
concerned.
take a vote on it?
Yep, who would like to have it removed? So,
Thank you.
okay.
Is there anything else?
Yes, 22.
I don't believe this changed.
I'm sorry, Tammy, on that last one.
Oh, no, your numbers are off because you just took that one
I
out.
guess I abstained. That all happened so fast. I really didn't get a chance to
Do you want to vote?
weigh in at all on that one.
Yes. Want to abstain or vote?
I guess I'll abstain on that one.
Okay.
We didn't actually take a
We didn't
count.
actually take a vote. We kind of, like I say, treat this like a work session.
Straw
Just
poll.
move this.
Yikes.
Are you okay with that?
Well, I mean, the administration worked pretty hard to get that grant.
I know, I was trying to give it to them as, to acknowledge that they did that we were going to fund it if we had to, but, we voted to fund it if we had to, but they came up with the grant. So that was the thing. And the other thing is that there's an ongoing need for a LADAC. We talked a lot about that. Sandy certainly talked about it a great deal. She isn't here tonight. But the LADAC is available through Live Free Recovery for insurance. Through private insurance. So we have stuff available that's not going to come out of taxpayer money, out of taxpayer pockets. That was the point.
Well, if you said that, that makes sense.
We
That
decided-
slide did not say that.
Come on, guys, we've decided this, we're moving on. Been decided.
All right, I'm on one that's called superintendent's reductions. Your numbers have changed since you eliminated that slide. Yeah, yeah.
Is that 21?
I know what you want there,
This one hasn't changed.
spell out estimate.
You want to spell out estimate?
Yep.
Oops.
So middle and high school attrition 4 so far to be determined in April.
Or so far this year, is that,
Yep.
should that be added, so far this year?
Okay. For next year.
Oh.
It's for next year.
Oh, it's for next year, so far for next year, okay. Already knows there's people not coming back?
Yeah,
Okay.
retirements or whatever. And the balance to be determined in April?
Right.
Okay, balance, that makes sense.
Yep,
Okay.
we good?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Next.
Oh, nope, go back.
No,
One more
22.
forward. The budget proposal.
No.
I find this very confusing. Property tax revenue needed for proposed budget, 422,433.
I explained that at the public hearing, and I will explain it again. The amount of state revenue that we're getting is less than what we got last year, so we have a $210,000 increase in the budget, plus we have to make up 200 and some thousand that we aren't getting from the state that we got last year. I explained that at the public hearing.
But that's not what that says. That says property tax needed for proposed budget, 422,000. The property tax revenue needed,
Revenue increase needed. How about that?
that's more clear.
How's that? Good.
Yeah. Next.
Obviously, I updated this one since we don't have the first voting session on this.
Can you actually go back to that slide we were just on? I just want to clarify.
This one?
So the tax impact numbers refer to the entire budget proposal, not the increase, not that 422, 433.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Thought
but
I
that's
just
the
wanted to make
actual
sure.
amount that's going to go up. You know, the 422 is going to cost $87 in Kingston and $189 in Newton. Is that
Okay,
correct?
I get it, yep.
Okay.
How about if we put, yeah, see, it doesn't really say that. So what you're saying is tax impact proposed would be additional $87 for a $300,000 house.
It's 29 times 300.
What's the immediate estimate again?
Yeah? And that's what Michelle asked me to say.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, no. She asked me, she said, please put estimate.
Can you
Yeah.
just write estimated tax impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would cover it and take out the ease.
I don't think that property tax revenue increase needed for proposed budget, it doesn't relate to anything. I think you want to know if the proposed budget passes, Kingston's going to be $87 more for 300,000, and the default would be 189. That whole property tax revenue increase, that 422,000 is just very confusing. I don't see how that relates to those numbers on the side.
Provides all information to the taxpayers and the voters and the citizens.
But it,
Showing them their budget's going up.
Showing the proposed budget is 87. The
taxes are going
default
up.
would be 189.
that's fine. The thing on the left, just, I don't see how that connects to the stuff on the right. It's very confusing. What, 422,000, is that what's causing the 87?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 422,000, is that more than last year's budget?
I don't know.
It's 422,000 more that we have to raise in local revenue for
From our
this
current
budget.
year's budget.
From the budget we're in now?
Right, in order to support this proposed budget, because we're getting less money from the state, mostly due to decreased free and reduced lunch.
Yeah, I think that's very confusing, if just reading this, how that relates. I think just proposed budget, proposed tax impact, estimated, yeah,
estimated.
estimated tax impact.
I forgot what we were saying.
Yeah, oh, geez, Michelle going nuts on you. Yeah.
From current year or something like that.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, everybody all right with this?
Yep.
I would take out that whole thing on the left.
I know you want that.
I think people need to know. I think people need to know we have less money from the state.
But it doesn't say that, Annie.
I will say it.
I'm going to call the
This is going online for people who are, how many people, what percentage of the voters do you think will be at the deliberative session on Thursday?
The ones who aren't there, what percentage of those do you think are going to look online at this thing?
All right, you guys don't need to argue.
Well, your narrative, your notes.
Why put it on the line, why put it online then?
Access it online?
If you're going to say that you don't care that people are going to read this online, and whether or not it's clear what it says, don't put it online. That's my vote.
There'll be a video that people can listen to that will do it. I would think that most
I
people
think
would
it's
access by
incumbent
video.
upon us to use every possible media way to get to the voters and show them what they're voting on, and it needs to be clear. That says nothing about because state money is not the same, or free and reduced lunch. It really doesn't have any impact on what people want to know is how much are my taxes going to go up? And that's it right there, on the right side. That's what they need to know.
All right, you Cheryl, you've had your say. Annie, you've had your say.
Yeah, maybe-
I'm going to call. Go ahead, Jack. You didn't
I'm
say
sorry.
much.
Just maybe we should put a note in there that this is from this $422,000 represents a decrease from the state.
Instead of a property tax increase, say it's a
Yeah,
state funding shortfall.
right, yes.
I don't know how that affects anybody's vote, but I guess it makes it clear. Nothing you can change about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that explains it all.
Does that make everybody
Good
happy?
with that?
Yeah, I'm
Good,
happy
good.
with that.
Does that make everybody happy?
That's better.
All right, next.
That 422, 433 isn't just from the state.
No, it's the combination of the increase in the budget, the 210 plus the, so you think it should say budget increase plus state funds decrease?
Yeah.
Well, if that's accurate, sure.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And plus. All right.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else?
Election of officials. And that's the end.
Any other further discussion of this agenda item?
Just a question on the election of officials. Are all of these full terms, or is anybody?
They're all three-year terms,
Okay.
except for the moderator, which is always a
Who
one-year
was
term.
running against Sandra? And that was right.
It's a full term.
Who's Julia Fitzgerald?
She's a Newton resident
Oh, yeah,
running
that's right.
against Pam for
All right,
the board.
that's it for that agenda item. So I guess the next thing is the acceptance of minutes of January 4th, 2018.
So move.
Moved
I
by
was-
Andy,
I'll
seconded by Jack.
I was not here. I'm
What was,
Oh.
what was
second
it?
thing.
What was, it? Read that again?
The acceptance of the January 4th.
Okay, that is, we did not have the meeting on January 4th, we had it on January 8th.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, we canceled
Wow.
that. Yeah.
More snow.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's right, it did snow.
I'm sorry, and Annie motioned,
And
Jack.
Tammy,
Or Tammy.
because Jack wasn't here.
finding it.
I heard him talk, I didn't.
You're listed as being here on January 8th, however.
You said, it says you're here.
January 8th, not the public hearing, but the last meeting we had
I'm trying to
before
remember
the
which,
public
oh, I
hearing.
didn't go to the public
I don't
hearing. That's
see
the,
it.
I'm sorry, that's the
There.
one I
Whatever.
missed. I'm sorry.
Any
I had
discussion
to
on
look
these minutes?
really hard to
Trying to
find them.
find them.
Where did I
You're not gonna
found
find them with
them?
no discussion.
Under, oh gosh, where did I find them? I have them under budget committee here. I guess that's on the team,
Those in
drive
favor
on
of
the budget
acceptance of the January 8th meeting?
As,
Make a
there
motion to
were, there were
accept.
some amendments that were made on
committee. It's
there.
hard to find them. We're just having,
Oh,
Can you bring those up, Annie?
I'm trying to, I can't
Yeah,
seem to
I
find
you
it.
on the
can't
Google
find it.
Drive or?
Yeah, I got bumped off.
Like,
I had about
like this
20
Google
pine
Drive
trees
thing.
taken down.
I'm not that impressed with this
weather. I get about to burn.
Google Drive, I haven't
You
quite
go-
learned
go
it yet.
here.
It's coming again, but
Right
I
here.
wait till
Yeah.
the snow's gone now.
And
Google
let your,
Drive.
let your meet.
I'm pretty
Team
sure,
Drive?
Out there and doing things.
Yeah.
yes, I believe,
And then I
I
went
believe if you go
to,
to budget committee,
yeah,
they seem to be in, not in any of the subfolders, but in one of these, if you scroll down.
Budget committee.
That's-
Budget
I think-
committee, there it
yeah,
is.
And it's,
Yeah, right
I
there.
think it's in the
They're both
fiscal year
there.
2018.
so that should be in minutes.
We hadn't moved them into minutes. We had,
So none of my things came up here?
This one?
I edited this in Google Drive, and it looks like it didn't come up.
Can you do it in a different place?
I would have thought it would have been in, or maybe open with Google Docs. Maybe I need to do that.
I don't see them.
is it shared with me or?
Yeah, it would have been shared with everybody.
None of my edits are on here. I don't know where they went.
Where did you find what you're looking at?
Team drives, budget committee. I have the icons, not the list. No, it wasn't there.
It's on the Google Drive, on the team drive.
It's just on team drives.
Is it on the team drive?
Yeah. That's where I found them. I don't know if there are other copies, different copies.
That's where it should be.
Yeah, right in budget committee. And then
Scroll down.
it's one of those documents, up or down. It's not in a folder. It's just in that, that keep going down.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there it
That's
is.
where we found them.
It's 1-4?
That's Doc X,
It's not 1-4.
but that's the
It's labeled
document we're
1-4,
looking.
but it was really 1-8, I guess.
So see, those are Doc X, so those are not Google Docs.
Those are not Google Docs.
So I edited it in Google Docs, and I don't know where it ended up. Because I edited Thursday, January 4th should be taken out. It should be Monday, January 8th. Yeah.
Well, one of them has that. The one I opened originally says Monday, January 8. It's formatted differently too.
Yeah,
I mean, because there is more than one document here.
this was the one that I ended up doing from
I don't know what
notes I'd taken.
The other one.
Snow date Monday, January 8th. Okay.
So is this not?
Oh, this is
okay,
agenda.
yeah, there's like one,
I've got
two,
agenda.
three,
Wait a minute,
four.
I don't want agenda.
All right. See, I have 5 different
Yeah,
documents
there's a
that
whole
say
bunch of
1-4.
I edited some in there too, and when I left, I didn't notice if it was a DocX or a.
Now they're propagating like crazy.
Rabbits.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it,
Down to the
okay.
end.
This is it, okay,
Wrong heading on it, that's all.
okay.
Yeah, but see, this doesn't have to be, Tammy and I
Those are
brought
nice,
up another one
just
that
comfortable.
has edits in it.
Yeah, no. I got these at Aldi at the checkout.
When I originally put my edits, it came up comment and CG, and then my comment was there, which I think makes more sense when other people are looking at it, who, if somebody already made that edit, I don't need to edit. But this document doesn't, I can't see what's been edited from the original. So I don't know what happened to those edits. I think we need another tech session.
Pitfalls of Google.
Is that, yeah, did you find that, Tammy?
I am not big into Google Doc editing,
Yeah.
so I haven't forayed into those waters yet.
I know one of the things that you had proposed as an edit was that you wanted to say that you said that you didn't vote for the vote to have a shorter thing, that you wanted to restate what you had said at the meeting. And what you actually said was that you didn't remember the vote and that you don't remember ever voting for it. And Sandy said you did vote for it. It was a unanimous vote, and I remember it. And it was said, you said it twice.
What did it say in the videotape?
The videotape did not work.
Oh, okay, so Sandy's word is taken over my word.
No, I also remember that. And I don't know.
What I said was, I don't remember voting for shortening by taking out slides. I did vote for shortening by reducing the amount of comment that was made. I thought that made the presentation longer, and that I did vote to shorten it. But had I known that the reason for shortening it was going to be removing content slides, I would not have voted for that.
Whoa, we're not going to rehash what,
That's what I said.
we're talking about the minutes.
Yep.
Is it something
And
in
I
the
said
minutes?
that
We can
during
do
the
some
meeting.
creative writing
Where are
on the
we
minutes if
looking?
you want to.
not-
I don't really care.
Where in the minutes are we talking?
You're not you didn't
Towards
say
the
that.
end, last page.
You're just saying, well, I
committee
didn't.
comment.
Wait a minute, whoa. To me, what I'm hearing is, I don't remember saying that or doing that. Is that what you want to show them? That's not
No,
what happened at the meeting.
Yes, and what I'm saying, I
You
said
didn't
it.
say that.
Yes, I did.
At the meeting, you said, I don't remember voting for that?
Yes,
No.
you did.
Okay, put it in there.
No,
Let's put it in there. Cheryl Gannon does not remember voting for this.
no, that's.
Yes.
I'm
going to reflect it verbatim. That's what I do. That's what you want? Fine. Give us what you want in there.
You said it
I
twice.
wrote it here. Here it is. This is what I want. This is what I said. I felt the presentation could be shortened by reducing comments. So I did vote to shorten it by reducing comments rather than taking out slides.
Is that what you said or what you think you
That's
said?
what I said.
No, it really isn't. It
Well-
really isn't, Cheryl.
Well, I guess we-
So this is he said, she said.
Twice you said,
I am saying this, and this is what I want reflected in the minutes.
All right, let's vote on this.
Well, can we say, I don't even, I'm sorry, but I don't, point of order? Where are we?
Last
Can we
page,
show where
committee
we are,
comment.
what we're talking about?
Go
And is someone
down.
making
we're
a
on page
motion?
4 of 5 on the meetings.
Scroll down just a little bit more, Annie. See where it says committee comment? Right there. Ms. Gannon
Committee comment.
conveyed her concern about having enough information for the public in the presentation. All right, so whoever wrote these minutes says she does not remember voting for a shorter presentation this year with additional information presented online. What I said was, I felt the presentation could be shortened. So I do remember voting for a shorter presentation, but that it would be shortened by reducing comments, not by taking out slides.
Well, we have no video. I clearly remember you're saying twice that you don't remember the vote.
I don't remember voting for taking out slides, is what I'm saying, Annie.
That's fine.
I do remember voting for shortening the presentation.
I don't think it's a huge deal.
I'm going to, let's call this
What?
a vote, whether we shall amend.
This is I'm
understand it's your thing,
editing
but we
for
can-
what I said.
But only, the committee doesn't want that in the minutes, they're not going in there.
You can't take somebody else's word over my word. You're voting, who do we think remembers better? I am telling you, this is what my point was that I agreed to a shorter presentation by reducing the number of comments. What I was, my point here was I was disappointed that this year's presentation has less content.
And now you've made that abundantly clear. I'm gonna
Okay, so my words here, instead of does not remember voting for a shorter presentation,
You've read that about 14
should say,
times. I've heard it, it's enough.
by reducing, I want to insert there, by reducing comments rather than taking out slides.
I
Just
suggest you
insert
make a
that.
motion.
By reducing comments rather than taking out slides.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to insert after the words for shorter presentation. Yep, right there.
Is that it?
Does not, no. No, taking out does not remember. So she remembers voting for a shorter presentation.
Cheryl, you said twice that you don't remember.
We got it.
Yep.
No, this is what I said.
I am going to stop this if you can't put a motion into some form.
Well, I had my edits.
One way or the other.
I had my edits, okay? But this didn't come out right because we're having problems with Google Drive. So let me just rephrase this. So I would like to eliminate, does not remember voting for shorter presentation by taking out slides. So insert after presentation by taking out slides.
That's your motion. Any second?
How about with the additional information presented online? Do you remember that part?
No.
I want to wrap this up.
I know.
This year, with additional information. I don't even know what that means. Well, I'm looking at, I don't know, you don't have it on yours, but Tammy, can you see on here? This was my edit. Felt the presentation could be shortened by reducing comments rather than taking out slides. That was my suggestion for that she does not remember thing.
Have I got it on here? Because, you know, Tammy can look at your thing, but I'm trying to put it so everybody can see it.
I don't know, Annie, I don't know which one. I have,
Can you see what it says? It says, Mrs. Gannon conveyed her concern about having enough information for the public in the presentation. She does not remember voting for a shorter presentation this year by taking out slides with additional information presented online. Ms. Rogers Osterloh advised Mrs. Gannon that she was present for the vote and voted in favor at a fall meeting.
that's fine. She can advise whatever she wants. I don't know, that with additional information presented online, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Just take that out.
Well, it was part of the conversation, and it was part of the vote back in October. So
What
it
does that
isn't
mean,
gonna
with
come out.
additional information?
Yes,
presented
Mary.
I'm
online?
extremely frustrated. I don't understand why this is contentious.
I don't either.
Why it is significant.
I don't either.
And
Because-
it's a pissing match, and
Yeah. I'm ready.
can we move this?
You are going to get this into a verbal form in the next minute, and if you cannot do that, then I'm going to make a motion. You have 1 minute.
Take out with additional
1 minute.
information online, period.
You want that with additional information online?
Yeah, no, take it out.
Well, because that was something that we wanted to make sure that we had, just so that we can talk about it, because having the Q&As online is something that we've been very, very clear we wanted.
40
Okay.
seconds.
This is committee comment, so what this is
It's
saying
fine,
right here
it's fine. It's-
is
it's
what
up there.
I
The motion's
said
made.
and what my point was.
Is there a second?
No,
Charlton?
no.
Second to end the conversation?
Yeah, well, you got
To
30
make
seconds.
that edit that Annie just made. Is everybody happy with that? I'm happy with that.
I'm happy that it's over.
Are we good? Are we good with that?
Good?
I'm good.
Good? Good. All right, done.
Okay.
Any other changes to the January 8th minutes?
Okay, oh, that's January 8th.
Did we
Okay.
take a vote on that?
Make a
Did
motion.
we get
to
an
accept.
official
We're
vote
making a
on
motion. I'm
accepting?
going to make a motion, we accept the minutes of January 8th as amended tonight.
Second. That's
All in favor?
beat me.
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
And who seconded? it?
Jack did.
Thank you.
You beat me.
Acceptance of minutes of January 11th, 2008 is the next item.
Okay.
Any changes,
I think those were
additions,
fine.
modifications?
Nobody came forward with any.
Well, I was just going to say, because this point came up before, that a slide presentation shouldn't be in the minutes of the meeting, that was posted online, that the minutes should just be what was said. And this is something that we've
Your comment is noted.
agreed before, that not in the minutes of a meeting, that slide presentation shouldn't be included. But everything else seems fine,
Okay.
all that text in there.
Make a motion, we
Oh,
accept.
somebody else made edits here.
What are we, in January 11th?
On
Which meeting did I miss?
This is the one.
page 10,
One I missed, yeah.
I see red, there you go. Teachers or many are
Oh,
taking.
many
hearing.
teachers,
Public hearing,
yeah.
Yeah,
All right, yep.
Can you tell it's me?
No,
Like, did I do it wrong?
No, you did fine.
And it was all not formatted properly, and it was driving me crazy, so I.
Okay, many teachers are taking training and have commented that they need time to incorporate
it,
Yeah.
I was like, what is it?
their training.
yeah.
Which takes time, instead of so it doesn't happen overnight.
Right. So what doesn't happen overnight?
so this doesn't happen overnight.
So change doesn't happen overnight, or improvement doesn't happen overnight?
Benefits, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see any other edits. The only suggestion is taking out the video out of the thing, which I tend to think we should do. I don't think the video belongs in the minutes.
Fine, if that's,
Okay.
I want to sleep at the wheel. Did we make a motion to accept this?
We actually have a couple
Did we
of
make a motion to accept
duplicates
this?
here, it looks like.
No, I don't think so, not yet. No.
Okay. So that brings it down to a lot fewer pages. Now it's 7 pages.
make a motion, we accept the minutes of January 11th, 2018 as amended tonight.
Second,
Discussion? And we'll first, all in favor?
aye.
Aye, unanimous. Jack's
Abstain. I wasn't there, yeah.
because he was absent. All right, next item. Any public comment, Jim? No public comment. Any committee comments?
Yeah,
No, Jack.
I have one question. I wasn't there at the presentation.
Yes.
Did they discuss the warrant articles?
Yeah,
Was it? And there's one there for hockey, is
Hockey.
there? How did that go over?
because that was money, we voted on it.
Unanimously not to approve.
Unanimously not to approve. It will go before the voters, and the voters will decide.
The school board did
Also.
have one vote
For it.
in favor,
Okay.
and everyone else on the school board against.
Thank you.
There's the hockey one, right there.
And
All right.
one other question.
Yeah, sure.
Is in the past, other than last year, the current budget has the tax impact, and deliberative session never carried it, but it did last year. Is that going to be on there this year? Okay.
Well, that's something, I mean, we've certainly got it on there at this point. Is that something we want?
Yeah, it shows.
You know, it
it's
should be on, we want that on our proposal, right?
right on it. Well, it should show in the warrant articles. Yeah.
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 Is that something we all agree on?
Yeah.
To have the tax impact?
Yeah. Right?
Yes.
I mean, we don't know what, now that, I mean, the next thing is that we're going to have a meeting after the deliberative session,
Right.
brief meeting, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right? That's what we talked about, agreed on, right after the meeting. We
We're going to
get
go
together and,
into the room.
okay. So next, we know when the deliberative session is, second voting session, that's it. Jack's motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Andy is voting, passed.
Do you have the new date in there for the deliberative?
Yeah, the date's February 8th. 7 PM.